My name is Brian O'Connor. I'm from Chicago. I had learned a little Spanish in school, and the experience was always positive. I really had fun. When I went to college, I wanted to really learn it. So I signed up to go to Mexico City on my own. What that did was it really gave me the ability to speak, where you go from a theoretical knowledge to having to use it, and it was life-changing. So there, using Spanish is basically how I think I really learned. I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher basically since I came to Colombia. I love what I do. I love working with youth. I love thinking about making a better world, thinking critically, asking questions. So I think one of the best professions to be in, and I'm glad I got into it. Why Colombia? But Colombia was always there because I studied anthropology. And whether it be political science, anthropology, indigenous cultures, Colombia was a country that always intrigued me. What do I like about Colombia? Well, I like living in the now. I like how people still are pretty connected to their families. Relationships still are more important than things. Work is important, but there's also people have perspective and don't overwork. Well, Colombia's treated me very well. I'm really happy here. I see myself here happily for a few years, many years. I think the most funny thing that happens to me of coming to Colombia with a decent Spanish but very Mexican. And so people would look at me, see me as a gringo, but hear me speak and you know, hear the Mexican accent from chingao to órale, ándale. I'd be like el claxon, and they'd be like, no, that's the pito. When I went back to the States and I worked at a school, my Spanish was Colombian. I remember one time that I was speaking with a couple students that I said, estoy mamado. And I know it's not really vulgar to say that in Colombia, right? I'm tired. But obviously, you know, they got a big kick out of it. My hobbies are soccer. Soccer's pretty much been my passion throughout my life. I've played ever since I can walk. I run 3 days a week in this beautiful park at about 5 a.m. in the morning when it's dark, when the birds are just starting to chirp. It's probably one of my favorite things to do. I like to read. I like to read a lot. Magazines, a lot to do with social studies, history, current events, globalization, activism. The first most important tip is to want to learn it, to really have a genuine desire, push to learn it. I think without that, you're kind of kidding yourself. But my advice would be to say, get a connection. Music. I thought music was a great way to understand the language in a creative way, in a connected way. If you really want to learn it, try to make a couple goals. Like, I'm going to do the class, I'm going to try to go here, I'm going to try to get a group together. What does another language do for you? I think individually, personally, intellectually, it gives you a whole different way to see the world, right? To understand the world. In terms of opportunity, I mean, who doesn't have the edge or the advantage on the resume that has 2 languages over one? So in terms, I think, in any field, from business to the humanities to the social work, it's it's excellent. English is the lingua franca, right? I mean, it's the language of globalization. It's McDonald's, Walt Disney, Monsanto, you know, Hollywood. It's kind of like learn it if you want to be plugged in, right?